The 1996 Olympics catapulted Atlanta onto the global stage, and now that we're approaching the 25th anniversary, 11 Alive's Naeem Abdullahi examines how the city has changed since then.
That's right. We're talking about from growth and population diversity, a hub for culture and the economic divide. Atlanta then and now, what remains is hope for a better Atlanta.
Atlanta has always been an underdog with something to prove. The 1996 Summer Olympics finally lifted the city up onto the world stage.
Atlanta's got its arms around it, ready for it, prepared to put on the best Olympics the world has ever seen.
Atlanta knew its worth. It was just a matter of time before our image-conscious city could market itself and sell a vision.
2 years ago, we were having to almost annoy them to get any attention.
25 years since the announcement that transformed this city.
To the city of Atlanta.
Bits and pieces of that monumental chapter still linger in the city if you pay attention. The population of the city has almost doubled. In 1996, 2.9 million people called Atlanta home, and now it's a population of 5.9 million. Census data shows the migration to Atlanta is still going strong. Atlanta has earned a reputation for being a predominantly African-American city, and it's holding on to that title with a 51% black population. 2 million people visited Atlanta during the games, another 3 billion watched on TV. Beyond the games, they also came to see the home of Dr. King.
I think the world is aware of the incredible transformation that happened during the Civil Rights Movement, led by Dr. King and Reverend Abernathy and Andy Young and John Lewis. It resonated around the world. It was something that I think caught the imagination of the entire world.
With Atlanta franchising itself for world consumption, that's really what the Olympification of Atlanta is. We have to ask the question, who are the winners and who are the losers?
The version of Atlanta the world embraced with open arms didn't completely match reality.
It was a very tumultuous time. I mean, from the issues around the Atlanta child murders to the rise of the AIDS epidemic, all of these work together, and then the crack epidemic.
All of that was swept away from the public eye.
It was a tremendous opportunity for this transformation of Atlanta for the games, and then a wonderful resource after the games.
But that transformation came with a price.
What we began to see is the displacement of low-income, no-income people in Atlanta, particularly in the central city.
The difference between 1996 and 2021, some landmarks have vanished since then. Fulton Stadium, gone. The Georgia Dome, gone. Most of the old public housing from that era, gone. As a city that has always rebranded itself, historian Maurice Hobson says that paved the way for gentrification, the wealth gap, and income inequality. But that dream for a better Atlanta still lives on.
The hope for a better Atlanta is just to put people first. We should try to put people over politics. We should try to put people over profit.
And you know, to put this into perspective, now that we are in the middle of a mayoral race where candidates are vying to become the 61st mayor of Atlanta, these conversations will continue until Election Day on how Atlanta could be more inclusive, affordable, and maintain the legacy of what some say made this city the Black Mecca.